All right, y'all. I've been looking around and watching this thing with the about Jesse Lee Peterson, um, and I think it's probably it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation because the Jesse Lee Peterson situation puts a person that is. And I've heard Jesse say a lot of different things. Let me just say this first. I've heard Jesse say a lot of different things that I did not personally agree with. I've heard him say some things that I did agree with. And so most of what I heard him say I didn't agree with was dealing with women, male female relationships. And I always wondered how would somebody who has supposedly has so much information about male female relationships not in a male and female relationship, right? How does that work? But I knew there was something odd about Mr. Peterson. So, but hey, he had people listening to him. Shout out to him, right? But now we in a position. Now we at a spot where he has put out a lot of rhetoric, and at the same time, we're seeing the hypocrisy in a lot of his rhetoric. And for example, at this point in the game, we're seeing the hypocrisy in his statements about homosexuality, right? We got receipts about his true position about homosexuality, yet he's pushing the conservative line on homosexuality or the Christian line on homosexuality, right? All right, so let's see, let's see what he's talking about.
No, we should have never fallen for this idea that, oh, we just want to come out of the closet. Just let us out of the closet. And then they say, oh, we want to go to church, but we don't want to be talked about at church. So a lot of preachers stop mentioning that homosexuality is wrong, that something has gone wrong, and they must repent and return to God. Now they have taken over the churches. There are a lot of preachers who are afraid to speak out against so-called Pride Month. You know, I started the White History Month in July. This is our fourth year coming up when we are celebrating white history. And what I'm
All right, so hey man, you want to celebrate white history, knock yourself out. However, I think we should all acknowledge true history and everybody's position in history. But you want to celebrate, hey, you know, because you feel like it's not being addressed. Okay, hey, what can I say? Hey, but uh, I think we should definitely acknowledge white history. That's for sure, because played a part in where most of us are in the world at this point. All right, but anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. The point of this conversation is his statements against the homosexual community or the alphabet community, and they were such strong statements. You would expect a person making such strong statements to be living as really close to that line that you pushing, right? But this man was not living close to that line. As a matter of fact, he was living really off that line. And shout out to the Majority Report with Sam Cedar for this footage. Shout out to the Report with Sam Cedar for this this footage. Go over there and check him out. The Majority Report. Okay, so back to Jesse Lee Peterson. Made a lot of statements. A lot of statements. Let's move the needle. Let's move the needle.
notice that in America, a country that was founded by white people and created by white people, one of the greatest countries on this side of heaven. And so white people invited all these other, allowed this, all this other stuff.
Invited. I don't know. hey, bro, if we're gonna tell white history, let's tell it true. Let's tell it right. Because I don't know, your ancestors and my ancestors definitely weren't invited. We weren't invited, right? Ay, ay, ay. Come on, Jesse. But anyway, man, Jesse always says a bunch of different stuff like that, man. Just gaslight everybody. But he's a really funny dude, man. Really funny guy. Unfortunately, he has to deal with the hypocrisy in his lifestyle compared to his teachings. So that's going to be an issue for him. But let's get back to it.
To happen, but you could celebrate everything but white history. We must remember white history, because if it wasn't for that, there would be no America.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
And so they got black history, women history, Mexican history, so-called gay pride. What's pride? What's happy about being perverted? There's nothing good about that. Living in sin, right?
Okay. Another strong statement against the alphabet community, right? Now we got all this information. I'm going to show you some receipts where he is actually participating in, he's himself what they would call in the Bible a sodomite. We're going to get some receipts on that. But here he is making these strong statements, right? Right. Let us continue.
But we celebrate, but they celebrate that. But when it comes to white history, they're afraid to even mention white history. But we got to bring that back, because that's who made America great. We got to show our appreciation. And
oh, wow, man. I mean, we can't just, we just can't just accept each other's history and accept American history. White, black, red, yellow, green, purple, whoever's contributed, whoever threw something in the pot, we appreciate everybody, right? I really don't have no issue with White History Month as long as we telling the truth, right? Don't give me White History Month and leave the bad stuff out, because we don't leave the bad stuff out in Black history. We don't leave the bad stuff out in no other history. So, as long as we telling the truth, cool. Let's remember white history, right? I'm down with the White History Month.
And not one Christian should be celebrating gay pride. They should be praying that these people.
Another strong statement against the alphabet community, right? He said, not one Christian. Is he a Christian? Yes. Should you be celebrating? No. Well, he is a Christian and he is not celebrating, but at the same time, you are being a hypocrite because you live in a certain way. The way you live in is not in alignment with what you out here, your rhetoric out here. According to all of these different men that said, you were dealing them, right? All right, let's continue.
Well, repent and overcome the fallen state. Return to the Father.
All right, y'all. This is a video from 21 Studios. Shout out to 21 Studios. They've had their share of letdowns from different content creators, but this is one, man. I think Jesse Lee hit it out of the park. So anyway, shout out to 21 Studios. This is their footage. If you want to see the whole video, go over to 21 Studios and check the whole video out. But we're gonna watch a couple snippets of the video they call "Amazing Disgrace," discussing the Jesse Lee Peterson situation, and they got receipts up in here. They got some receipts up in here. So let's take a quick look.
I've changed, and I don't have any skeleton in my closet.
You were saying
from
that
the
you're
point
100%
that I changed.
saint now?
I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but I don't do those things.
In the early 1990s, Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson began his ministry as a student of Roy Masters, a British-born talk radio personality and hypnotist. Peterson and Masters promoted a similar system of meditation and theology, a system that includes rejecting the Holy Trinity and our blessed Lord's divinity.
You blame anything that you do, somebody else. No.
But thanks to the feckless and spiritually absent bishops, Jesse's theological errors didn't keep him from gaining tens of thousands of Catholic and patriotic followers. Jesse's draw for conservatives was his commentary against the Marxist group Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter, radical so-called social justice warriors, they were chanting, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it? Now. Pigs in the blanket, fry them like bacon. And people went out and started killing cops and everything.
All right, you just heard the man. He just said that Black Lives Matter, went out and started killing cops. that's what he did. Is that what he just said? Black Lives Matter, yeah, they definitely did the money grab, but as far as killing cops, I don't know about that. Got to bring you some receipts, Jesse, because they got receipts on you about what you did. So let's get moving. Let's get to these receipts, man.
Exploiting many angry American men's desires for a stable family life, Jesse would directly call out feminists for their role in destroying the family as well.
Sexism is a made-up lie, and it's been made up by women who hate men, who hate the family.
Yeah, that was another good one. Sexism is a lie. That was a good one. That was one of his better ones. That one and racism is a lie. Yeah, those are two of his better ones. Shout out to Jesse Lee. All right, let's move on. Let's get to the hypocrisy.
Family who hate the unborn child.
The 73-year-old even visited the Church Militant studio in March, when senior executive producer Michael Voris answered his questions about Catholicism.
Did Jesus just rise from the dead in spirit, or did his body come out also?
He was, maybe his body came, I don't know. But I know.
Well, that's a big deal.
He rose in the spirit. That's what.
No, he rose in the body.
Why I want to make that.
But he rose in the body. You can't say he didn't walk out of the tomb on Sunday.
And for what we knew at the time, Jesse was an ardent opponent of homosexuality in and outside the church, and presented himself as such.
Okay, you hear that? He was an ardent opponent to homosexuality. All right?
The spirit of homosexuality is of their father, the devil. It's not them, the person. It's the spirit that made a home in them. And it came from them overreacting to some sort of a situation in life, whether it's from someone messing with them when they were kids.
All right, now he's got a shirt on that says, stop having sex out of wedlock. Ouch. Yesy. Oh, holy smokes. We're going to have some people that come up here and tell you that you're having sex out of wedlock. Ay, ay, ay. All right, Jesse, come on. Let's get to it.
Or overreacting to an angry mother because you become like what you hate.
But shortly after the March interview, friends of his came to us with a different story. These stories first came to light when Jesse's former co-host and
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Beta.
alleged decade-long gay lover exposed him. 61-year-old Patrick Rooney has known Jesse for nearly 30 years, dating back to roughly 1992.
Everybody knows Patrick Rooney, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven.
The two were so close that Jesse was the minister at his wedding and the pastor at his baptism, long before Rooney claimed any homosexual activities began.
Right around that time, I also had started a TV show. I was doing a public access TV show in LA, and with a friend of mine who had gotten off heroin and wanted to, he asked me to be involved in the show to help other people get off drugs and things like that. So we started a show, and one of our first guests was Jesse and another gentleman from Bond. So we did a couple shows with them. And from that time forward, right after the show happened, Jesse and I talked in the green room, backstage. And right off the bat, he started asking me stuff. Jesse's very forward with his questioning and things like that. So he actually asked me right after that show, are you gay?
Rooney's characterization shows that Jesse allegedly used similar grooming
Okay, so asking the man, is he gay? That's not a crime, right? Okay, let's continue.
Tactics as other homo predators, like Saginaw priest Father Robert DeLand, who asked similar questions when preying on a young man in 2017.
to discover that you have some gay tendencies is a fine thing.
Okay, so it's not so bad to be Christian and have gay tendencies, according to the good father here, right? Because I always thought they were kind of opposed to each other, but it depends on who you ask, right? All right, let's continue.
Because then you don't have to be so confused.
Right.
Do you feel less confused?
Do you? Yeah.
After Jesse discovered Rooney's same-sex attraction, his relationship with Jesse was taken to the next level. Bit by bit, Jesse began edging him closer and closer to sin.
Once he moved up there to do the show, we stayed in the same house. Jesse would kind of do some things, kind of horseplay and stuff like that with me. And at times...
Come on, man. Grown men do not horseplay. Grown men always have a safe distance of about maybe 2 to 3 feet from each other. Unless you really know somebody well, maybe they can get a little closer than that. But grown men do not horseplay at all. Well, let me say this. Straight grown men do not horseplay. I should say it like that. Because straight men know that horseplay could easily turn into somebody losing their life. So straight men don't horseplay. Straight grown men don't horseplay. I say it like that. All right, let's continue. Let's move on because we're about to close it out.
Times he would do stuff where he would like grab me and then we'd kind of wrestle around a little bit, and then I'd feel his, private parts against me, and he did.
Okay, that does not sound like repentance to me. It does not sound like repentance to me. But let's finish up with this guy. There's many more other guys out here, but I'm not going to play all of them. I'm just going to play this guy, and then we're going to close it up here.
Did that more than once, so it wasn't like an accidental thing. He would kind of do it, and then I even mentioned it like, what's that or whatever, and he would kind of play around and joke about it.
Fast forward to 2005, and Jesse was ready to make his final move.
We did a conference with them called Moral Reconstruction, which is kind of ironic now that we're sitting here talking about something else. It's called Moral Reconstruction. We did that. That first conference was, I believe, in 2005, and we did a follow-up conference in 2006 with them as well. And I went with Jesse to Washington, D.C. For this conference. I was a fundraiser at the time. And so we did fundraising. I was part of the conference. While we were at the conference, we stayed in Virginia, near D.C. So we were sitting on the bed together, and all of a sudden he turned to me and just looked at me, and he said, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And he said it in a tone that was really insistent. And I'd never seen this tone from him before. It was like kind of scary. It kind of scared me. Like what? What do you want to do? I knew what he meant.
Okay. Now, let me set the stage for you. If you are not homosexual, now if you're homosexual, that might be a great place to be. That might be a great situation. Excuse me. I don't know. I can't talk about it from the homosexual position, but from a heterosexual position. That is not a good place. That is not where you want to be. Sitting on a bed with another grown man and him asking you, what do you want to do? And looking at you with googly eyes. Not good. Not good. You are in the wrong room. Right? If you're not in the alphabet community, you're in the wrong room. Shout out to the alphabet community. But for the rest of us that's not in the alphabet community, oh boy, you are in the wrong room. So you got to be willing to, and I do these segments called the Hit Parade on our show on Sundays, where we talk about stuff like this, and just being in the wrong position, the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a person that knows how to prey on people, and they end up preying on people. Unfortunately. Now, is there a problem with being in the alphabet community? No, that's not a problem there. The problem is with the hypocrisy. Don't come out here, peeing on the alphabet community, and then you actually are part of the alphabet community undercover. then you peeing on dudes that actually come out of the closet, but you in the closet, you peeing on them from in the closet. Nah. That ain't the hypocrisy right there. That's the issue. The ABC community, that's not the issue. The issue is the hypocrisy that you are participating in by let's see, what's the word I want to use? By putting out this dogma that you're against homosexuality, yet we got all these receipts and all these men that's saying that they participated in homosexual behavior with you, and not like 20 years ago, like last year, this year, right? Right? So come on, man, come on. But anyway, let's finish up with this dude. Let's finish it up.
Meant, and then I told him, well, okay. And at first I'm scared, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing along here. It kind of threw me off my game, I guess, in a way. I think later I realized that's kind of something that people do sometimes. It's like the devil works in a certain way by intimidating you, and it throws you off your normal game. And so he said, what do you want to do? And he's like, okay, I'm scared. And then I told him what I want to do. I mentioned sex acts, that he knew about, that I had already talked to him about, that I was interested in. And next thing you know, he's ripping his clothes off and coming at me, basically.
Yikes. Yikes. Imagine Jesse Lee Peterson ripping off his clothes and coming at you. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Ay. Holy smokes. Yeah, man. And you still are against the alphabet community, yet you are participating as well. Yikes. All right, let's holy smokes. Let's get it. Let's get it.
And I did the same, took my clothes off, and the next thing you know, we're fully at it, having not getting detail here, but basically full-on sexual acts.
Rooney's
Holy smokes. Okay, so we're going to stop it right there. I don't need to go any further. I don't need to bring any other receipts up here. I mean, that guy looked like he was pretty credible, and so I don't need to bring any other receipts up here. My issue with Jesse, I've always had issues with Jesse, but I felt like he was very what's the word I want to use? He was very he was very authentic. This is the one I don't feel like he's very authentic about, where he's very disingenuous with the whole alphabet situation, and I think that if he was to just come clean with it, people would forget it and leave it alone. Now, you can't be the Republican watchdog. You can't be the junkyard dog where they can send you out to talk about Black Lives Matter and we need White History Month and all. They can't. I understand why you were doing that. Now is pretty obvious that for them to turn a blind eye to your hypocrisy, you had to go in the paint a little harder, and so I get that. But unfortunately, when you do stuff like that, and when the lid pops off of what's going on, you end up having an issue like this, right? Where one person comes out, then another person, then another person, then another person, then another person, right? So far, I've seen about 4 or 5 guys. But I'm gonna leave it right here. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Is Jesse Lee a hypocrite? Is he out here telling people to not do certain things in the black community? I mean, excuse me, not the black community, but in the alphabet community, is he telling people that they're so wrong for participating in behaviors that the alphabet community behaves in? Yet at the same time, he is fully involved, and we got receipts. This ain't no allegedly. Allegedly, let me say allegedly, because he haven't been convicted of any crimes. So I'm gonna say allegedly, but it's really strong, strong evidence that he has probably been involved with a lot of this alphabet behavior, right? And so, um, I just feel like, man, you know what? Just don't think too much of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Minister Farrakhan used to always say, "It's not good to think more of yourself than you should. You thinking more of yourself like you. This is what happens with elitist thinking. Elitist thinking will have you thinking that you're above another person, and you got just as much wrong with you as they do. But you know what? They don't have the income or the money to cover themselves like the elites have. The elites can cover down on their wickedness because they have the money to cover it. They have the money to cloak it. Whereas, you know, these guys on the street, which Mr. Peterson was obviously going, and he was doing the whole, travel bros type of situation where you you deal with people based on their economic need, and you are able to leverage their economic dysfunction against them to where you can take advantage of them or get what you want out of them. And so that's what unfortunately Mr. Peterson did with these men. Now, if he would have just came out and said, "Hey, I'm homosexual. This is what I'm doing, but I still feel this way," I don't think he would have got as much love in the Republican Party. But at least he would have been honest. He would have been authentic of himself, and then he would have, he could have been at least said that, or he could have took time off and said, "Hey, I'm gonna work on getting, stop doing this so that I can get my seat back with the Republicans," or whatever. But he wasn't authentic, and in today's world, people are drawn to what they perceive as authenticity, and that's just not authentic. Among other things that Reverend Peterson has done and said, this is just one. The hypocrisy that he displayed in this situation is just one, issue. So, hopefully, man, the brother can get his life together, man. Decide what's he gonna do, and if he's going to be, an alphabet person, or if he's gonna be a not alphabet person, or whatever. Hopefully, he can get his life together. Now, this situation answers a lot of questions. I always wondered, man, why is a dude that got so much information on why women are the way they are, and everything, and got all these answers about relationships, how come he's not in a male-female relationship, right? Somebody that's always talking about not having premarital sex is having premarital sex, right? You're just having it with a person of the same sex, right? that makes it not a sin according to you guys. I don't know. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. I think this man just out of control, man. Unfortunately for him, he pushed his dogma so hard, man, till he painted himself into a corner, as they say, where now he's got to deal with the backlash, of what's going on around him, and it's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for him. I wish he would just be honest and say, "Hey, I'm gay. This is what I'm doing. And I'm going to live this way, or I'm going to take some time to see if I can not live this way. Whatever way it go, at least you just be honest about it. But you sitting up here throwing rocks at the alphabet community, and you from the closet, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. But then, like I said, it answers a lot of questions, because I said, man, I always thought you was a little off, right? I always thought you the energy that you put out was a little off. I never could connect to that kind of energy, even even the dogma notwithstanding. The dogma notwithstanding, I still was like, man, I can't connect with this dude on just a man level. Just can't connect with the dude. Something's there. There's a barrier there. Now I see what the barrier was. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that alphabet energy, so that was throwing me off. See what I'm saying? I didn't know he had that alphabet energy because he was hiding it, right? Different if a dude have alphabet energy and they, hey, yeah, I got this alphabet energy. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing in the alphabet community. Oh, okay, cool. We know, you know what I'm saying? Now I know why we're not connecting like that, because you from that camp, I'm from this camp. Okay, I get it. But you making it sound like you from this camp too, right? So I'm like, what's going on? It's something interfering with this. We got interference here with the connection, right? Spiritually, right? Anyway, man, I not to put nobody down. Not put Jesse Lee down. Not putting the alphabet community down, because it's really not about them. It's about hypocrisy, man. If you're going to do something, if you're going to say something, if you're going to push a line, then you should be living as close to that line as possible. You shouldn't see you pushing a line in public and then find out in private you with it. You know what I'm saying? You that don't make no sense, right? Can't be out here saying, yeah, I don't want nobody, violating nobody else, and then you out here, you a main violator, right? We can't have that. Can't have that. Just be authentic. If you don't want to be in the alphabet community, okay, that's cool. If you do want to be in the alphabet community, okay, that's cool. Those are your choices. Just don't pee on nobody from the closet. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think.